It's a big weekend in the Big Ten. Taking a look at Indiana, still undefeated, ranked 8th in the college football playoff rankings. They are 9-0 on the season, hosting Michigan. Maybe their toughest test so far, even though it's been a season to forget for the Michigan Wolverines, not the season they wanted. Curt Cignetti, take a look at that. Head coaches to start 9-0 at a Big Ten school. Only one of a handful, and our Danny Cannell is catching up with them.
Coach, I am fired up to talk to you, man. You have the story of college football, the entire college football world captivated by your Indiana Hoosiers. I'm curious to know, like, how did you get to this point where all of a sudden you're sitting on a 9-0 start, you took over the program, which had been a little bit in disarray, and you bring in a bunch of your staff. How do you have so much success in year one to where you're sitting here in the top 10 and looking like you have a chance for a Big Ten championship?
Well, you know, all the places we took over, we had major turnarounds year one. And my first day here on the job, we had 10 offensive starters in transfer portal and half the defense. So I didn't know that when I got hired. So we had a lot of work to do. But we brought 22 guys in 3 weeks. They were all 2-3-year starters with production, consistent production throughout their career, and high character guys. I really felt like we had flipped the roster. On the December signing date, felt really good about what we got done, and the culture started to change, you know, in the winter with the strength and conditioning program, spring ball, summer, fall camp, but you still got to put it on the field. And, you know, the guys that stayed had a chip on their shoulder and something to prove. So, and the JMU guys were critical, I think, in facilitating the cultural change because they knew the program. They were tight with each other, and, you know, they could answer questions the other guys may have.
And then you bring in a lot of your staff with you, too, all 3 coordinators. I know they're not the only ones you brought with you. But the culture and the systems that are in place, how important is that continuity to get that quick start that you were looking for?
It's absolutely critical. I mean, you're talking like close to 30 people were at JMU, were with me in the past. So they know the program. They know what to expect day in, day out, the standards, the expectation level, the process, how we do things, the players that do too. And, you know, that's why we were able to hit the ground running.
It's been really impressive. It's been fun to watch. I must admit, like, it took me a little bit, like the first 2 games, get a couple blowouts, like, all right, this is a great story. UCLA, I was like, oh, this could be a big test. And then you guys go out to LA, you blow them out, and then you guys continue to get this wagon rolling. How good do you think this team could be? When that's been the one question mark as well, the schedule. It's all about the schedule. But you guys are one of the only teams in the country winning by 2 touchdowns or more. Now the schedule gets a little bit trickier against Michigan, Ohio State, and then you finish out the season. How good could this team be?
I think this team can be, you know, there's no limits on how good this team can be if they prepare every day like they need to and put themselves in the best position for Saturday. You know, they're going to have a good chance to be successful. And we've done a good job of that really throughout the season, and playing from the beginning to the end of the game, regardless of the competitive circumstances, playing to a standard, not a set of circumstances. And so, you know, if they keep their focus, we have a good day today. You know, we stack days this week, put ourselves in the best position for Saturday's game. Then, you know, I have a lot of confidence and belief in this team, and that they have a lot of confidence and belief in each other. And we attack. We attack on offense. We attack on defense. We attack on teams. And, you know, we try to keep the intensity level up, first play, last play, never too high, never too low, and play to consistent standard.
I said it took me a while to get on board, but I have been on board for 4 to 5 weeks with how impressive you guys have been winning. And I was very upset with the College Football Selection Committee for having you guys at 8, for having 5 teams with 1 loss ahead of you guys. I don't know what they're looking at. And I hear the strength of schedule argument, but you don't hear that for other teams that are ranked ahead of you. Miami's schedule hasn't been great. Texas's schedule hasn't been great, and they lost a game. Does it bother you where you guys are not getting respect some think you deserve, or is this something that will just take care of itself if you keep winning?
Well, you know, I think as a competitor, you're always looking for extra motivation or to have a chip on your shoulder, you know, to find that edge. But, you know, to me, the focus for us needs to be on the things we can control. and that's our preparation and, what we're doing to be successful on Saturday. I think there's a time and a place for everything, to comment. I don't think this is it. I think the most important thing is that, we continue to be successful and stack wins. So, we've earned the right to be in that 12. And, the key for all the teams is, they got to win.
No doubt about that. You guys have dealt with some adversity, too. Curtis Work missing for a couple weeks with that thumb injury. Coach, I gave a great demo leading into that game. I was holding the football, talking about how the thumb has only one pressure point on that side of the football and how it could be a struggle for him. All he does is go out there and throw for 4 touchdowns, maybe one of his best passing performances of the game. Not only that, but what about his play on the year and finding a guy that had so much experience and was a winner in the MAC at Ohio? What has he meant and been able to orchestrate this offense for you guys?
Well, I'm really proud of what he's accomplished and how he's developed. And, he built on some early season successes and then had the big game at UCLA. And since then, it's really taken off. And, we've got a lot of playmakers. We spread the ball around quite a bit at receiver and at running back, and the protection's been good, too. So, for him to come back from the thumb as quickly as he did, fortunately, when they went in there, it was such that his recovery process wasn't as long as it was first expected to be. And what I'd say about him is, he's played a lot of quarterback, and he's a low blood pressure guy. I mean, no moment's too big for him. And if he makes a bad play, he's forgotten about it, and he's on to the next play. And he throws a very catchable ball, and our guys got good ball skills, too. They've made some good catches. So he's a high-level quarterback. It's like having an NFL vet, at this level.
What are you looking at when you prepare for Michigan? They've played multiple quarterbacks all season long. They're still struggling to find an identity on the offensive side of the ball. The defense has some injury issues they're dealing with. How do you approach this game as far as how to, handle a blue blood like Michigan who comes in there and now you guys are favored? So all of a sudden you guys are a team that's expected to win. Does that change any of your mindset going into this game?
Not really. I mean, we prepare every week the same. And, every week it's a big game because that's a game coming up. And Michigan's got a lot of really good football players. They got a great tradition and history. And, they present a number of challenges. And but it's more about us than them, the things we can control. But when I look at that team, they run the ball very well. They got excellent running backs. They got a great tight end. Line functions well. They've settled in on a quarterback rotation, and those guys certainly have their strengths, and their wide receivers have good ball skills. Defensively up front, they're a huge challenge. They're really good, and they play good defense, and their teams are good. They get good specialists. So, they're a good football team, darn good football team, and we're going to have to play extremely well.
Coach, there were 2 quotes that I saw that I was like, oh, man, is this going to get him in trouble potentially, where you put the bullseye on your back at the basketball game? You said Purdue sucks, and it was like, okay, that's a rivalry. But then you threw in there, you said Ohio State and Michigan do too. And then, of course, there's the Google me quote when it's like, hey, I'll ask you how you got to where you are. Those 2 quotes, which have kind of become sort of your signatures and your staples, what people have come to know, which one of those of yours are maybe your favorite or one that you're tired of hearing about?
I don't have a favorite. I mean, I own those because I did it. But to put it in context, first day on the job, and I wasn't here 15 minutes, and I could sense the doom and gloom and the hopelessness. And then went up and spoke with Big Ten channel at noon up in Indy. Come back, team meeting, 7 or 8 guys not there. And, I'd come from a place, we won 5 straight championships. I was used to winning. So it was like a clash of 2 worlds. And I wasn't going to lower my expectations or standards. All right, I wasn't going to let anybody do that to me. So I got out there in the basketball game. There's 17,000 people. I have to get them excited, number one. But I had to set an expectation level, too. And I said what I said. And, obviously that got going. And then 3 weeks later was the early signing date, and I was doing my press con. And it was, I didn't see the light of day in December because we had a lot of work to do. And my press conference at the very end, I was asked the same question for about the 15th time, and I put my head down and decided to keep it simple, instead of giving a 10-minute answer. And I said, I win. Google me. And I Google players when we recruit them, to find out about them. So I just kept it simple.
I love it. And the best part about it is you've kept it rolling and you've kept winning, and you're right here in the thick of things. It's going to be awesome. Cannot wait to see how you guys do against Michigan. Bloomington's going to be rocking 3:30 on CBS. Coach, thanks so much, and best of luck the rest of the ride.
Appreciate it. Great talking to you.
He has absolutely done something right there. You can check it out. Indiana hosting Michigan Saturday, 3:30 Eastern on CBS. You can also stream it on Paramount+.